We found out that for 25 nights camping in our motorhome, we can get 7 nights, 4-star, all-inclusive on the Caribbean coast in Mexico.
We've come to the Gran Serenis Riviera Maya Resort and Spa, which is just over an hour from Cancun, to see if this deal is too good to be true.
So join us as we tour the resort facilities, sample the food and drink, and check out some of the activities offered in the all-inclusive package.
We'll even show you some excursions from the surrounding areas, such as catamaran cruises, quad biking and snorkeling.
Stick around to find out how much it actually cost us.
And whether we'd give all-inclusive Mexico a thumbs up, or should we just stick to our motorhome adventures? But before we get into all that, let's get you caught up on how we actually got here.
I'm Andy and this is my wife Claire. We toured beautiful Britain in our 6-metre long motorhome that we lovingly call St Christopher of Atlantis II, along with our 2 dogs Pablo and Dora.
For this trip, we drove to Birmingham Airport, checked our bags in and got ripped off in the One Lounge, which is basically the same as the rest of the airport restaurants. Busy, loud and short of seating, but you pay premium. Took a 10.5-hour flight over the Atlantic, spent 2 hours waiting for our bags. Just over an hour on the coach before finally arriving at the Gran Serenis Riviera Maya Resort and Spa. We were tired, hungry and thinking about how much easier it is to travel in our motorhome. Have we made a mistake?
Alright, so this is our room. It's 1232. Everything's very digital.
It's lovely.
I don't know what that is. That means
Well, make my room up.
make my room up.
What colour made though? Card?
Card.
Oh, green light, green light.
Okay, first impressions.
Very big, very bright. Oh,
Oh, it was.
how do you turn the light on for there?
Is there a light here?
There was one.
Ah, oh look. Got some
Massive.
robes.
Wardrobe.
Matching robes.
Slippers.
Slippers. So what did you say about the minibar?
They restock it every day. Whatever you use, they restock it.
Do we get charged for it?
She didn't say. It's all inclusive.
All inclusive. Well, what we got?
Water.
We got some Sol. Love. I had
Right,
Sol for ages.
I might have one in a minute.
Fanta, Coke, water.
Is that water? We need water, don't we? Yeah, it's
Lots of
nice
water.
cold water. So that's
What
good.
is this
So,
for?
tea machine. Coffee.
Is that coffee? The big area. It's huge.
Yeah, it's really big.
Everything in this hotel seems to be very high tech.
Right, very complicated then.
It's, well, yeah, it took me a bit to get this going. So we've got this nice little seating area on the bed.
I like the colours.
Yeah, I like the colours.
Bit like our van.
Looks
the
quite
blue.
funky. Feels like Egyptian cotton.
Shall I jump on it?
I think you should do the bed test.
Yeah, it's very soft.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's
Comfortable?
really comfortable.
Hey, look though, we've got some plugs and there's a USB
Oh,
charger.
very handy.
So we're going to talk about what's behind there in a bit. TV. What channels we got? Have we got YouTube on here? It's all American. So I'm not sure what that is. It's just a big box.
It's like a shelf.
It's just a big raggy box. We've got a little sitting area.
Yeah.
What's that like? Is this a bed? I think it's a bed.
Yeah, maybe if you've got children or
Sofa
something.
bed.
It's
Comfy?
fine. We probably wouldn't sit on here, I don't think, would we?
Dressing table.
That's nice. There's plenty of seating area. There's a bin here with the Gran Serenis brand on it.
There's a safety deposit box somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the other side.
How big is it?
Just standard.
Well, it's big enough. Good thing with this, I was worried. I didn't know if it was going to be big enough to get a laptop in, but it quite clearly is. So, but this is a bathroom. Do you want to take us in?
Yeah, look, it's really large.
You've got a few things going off. That's a whirlpool bath.
Huge.
It's massive. That's how that works. And then you've got like a shower head there. And then we've got a sink.
Large sink.
And we've
Hair
got
dryer.
some Jab-on soap. Jab-on. Don't know what that is. Yeah, hair dryer.
Always handy.
Yeah, and you can plug things in for a razor and things.
Yeah.
That's the toilet. It's a big toilet.
Shower cubicle.
We've got a shower that's got a rain
Oh, I didn't see that.
shower.
Yeah.
And then you've got gel and shampoo. That concludes the room tour. So tonight we are going to the Mexican restaurant. You're looking very nice, Claire.
Thank you, Andrew. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Should you be wearing those shorts for the Mexican?
Why?
You're going to get tacos down them?
So we've got some nachos, guacamole, first thing.
Careful with that guacamole.
Nope. Oh, put that deet on there.
Just eating some deet.
So we've got
Beef.
beef
With chicken in there.
chicken, and then
Then get the rest.
do you open that up or just eat it like that? What's that?
Green thing. I'm gonna wrap it up.
What are you supposed to do with this?
Wrap it up and eat it. Dunk it in that green stuff.
Come on. It's really hot, Claire.
Is it really? Is it like an envelope? Crispy pork.
Crispy pork?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about crispy prawns in a taco? Like you cut it into a sofa. That's alright. What's that like? I've spilled.
Before we talk about our first impressions over the food and drink in the hotel, I want to make one comparison with camping in here. I know a lot of people get really annoyed about them cutting grass on campsites. Well, I don't think you've heard anything until you come here. Reminds me of the film The Constant Gardener. But I'd imagine if they don't keep up with it, then it just explodes.
Oh yeah, out of control.
Yeah. Okay, so the food and drink, we've been here for a few days now, and we wanted to wait a little bit before recording this segment because there's that many places that you can go and eat and drink. If you get a good one or you get a bad one initially and give those first impressions, then it might not be fair on the place.
Yes, that's right.
However, we've been round a few bits now, so first impressions,
Yep.
just a few days into the trip, what do you think of the food and drink?
I think it's brilliant.
Really?
I do. I think there's lots of choice, lots of different restaurants, and when you go into the restaurant, there's lots of different choices.
And are you enjoying not cooking in the motorhome?
I am loving not cooking. I enjoy cooking, however, it's such a nice treat to not have to. And I think with the motorhome cooking, you have to plan it out quite meticulously. Or I do, because you've only got so much space. I don't have that problem, of course, here.
I suppose that begs the question, sometimes when you're motorhoming, do you feel like it's not a holiday?
I do, yes.
There's no real difference between being at home and
No.
doing that.
Because you're just working like you are at home.
Yeah. I think that's true for the blue jobs as well.
Yes.
There's always something to be doing,
Yeah.
isn't there? And then obviously on top of that, we do
Driving
YouTube,
around, yeah.
but we do the videos as well. So maybe we feel it a little bit more because we are busy doing all the filming, the editing and
We
everything
never
else.
just sit and rest in the motorhome, do we?
Not really. I had lobster. I mean, how much is lobster back home?
It was all garlic and beautiful, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable. They cook it for you. It's fresh. They cook it in front of you on the grill. They put garlic butter on there. In fact, I had finished my meal.
Yeah.
I'd had dessert.
And he spotted the lobster.
And then he brought the lobster out, and I'm like, well, I've got to do it. It's now or never. When you come to all-inclusives, sometimes they're a bit stingy with the drinks, aren't they?
Watery.
And you get, like, their version of what it should be.
Yep.
But this is all premium drinks all the way through.
Yes.
So if you ask for a gin, you get a proper gin.
You do, yeah.
If you ask for a rum, you get a proper rum. Let's cut to the chase and the main bit. What's the beer like?
Beer's delicious. It's double X.
Double X. It's not Madry.
You will not go starving here, even if you're really picky. You could get, pork chop and chips, can't you? There's plenty to eat here.
Plenty to eat. This evening, we're going to go to the all-inclusive buffet for dinner, and I can't wait.
Andrew,
Yeah.
what's that?
You know what this is?
I told you to take it off.
Why would you want me to take it off?
I think it's embarrassing.
Let's just fill everybody in, right? So after the all-inclusive dinner, it's really exciting because we're going to go to the silent disco, and we bought this camera. It's a really good way to try it out, and I like it because the way I dance, I need both hands, and this is going to allow me.
No.
What do you mean?
I told you to take it off. That's awful.
What do you mean?
I
It's
can't dance
awful.
with you like
can't
that.
even see it. Just looks like a necklace.
No, look like a dick.
Well, I knew you'd say this because you are the progress prevention officer, so I can hide it. You can't see it now. That's better, isn't it? You can't see
That's
it.
fair, yeah. Drew, you look silly.
I probably just have to try and hide it a bit. In our motorhome videos, we like to go to a campsite and then tour around the local area and show you the cafes and the sights that you can see. Now, you might think there's not very much to look at an all-inclusive hotel, but this hotel is massive. It's like a town in itself.
It is, yeah.
So we think you're going to enjoy this.
Follow me.
Look at that beautiful fountain. The grounds are immaculate, aren't they? Really?
Really good. The garden is great as well, isn't it? It's so large here, they do have lots of buggies. They have a buggy service, don't they, that goes around the whole estate.
Yeah, it's got its own little bus, hasn't it? Bus service, which is the little electric golf carts.
And there are bus stops, so certified places to get picked up.
That's it. Well, in case you're wondering, all that means hello in Spanish.
Your Spanish is pretty hot.
It's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Thing is, with this hotel, it looks like Star Wars.
It's
doesn't it?
gorgeous, yeah.
It is gorgeous. Loads of greenery. One thing I'd say about this hotel, it's really well laid out, isn't it? So if there's somewhere to eat, then there's a toilet right next to it. It's a very quick, efficient system.
So this is the main canteen area.
This is the main lobby bar, and it's beautiful as well.
Opens 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Now, one thing that we love doing in our motorhome videos is visiting local cafes and having a nice latte.
We always make a point of doing that, don't we?
So the local cafe here is called the Marimba. So we're going to go and get ourselves a coffee. Now then, Claire, what we got there?
We've got 2 coffees.
Now, you normally make these in the van, don't you?
That's my job, yes. And we've got a machine.
We've got a Tassimo machine in the van, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. They're never as nice as these coffees.
Well, Tassimo that we have in the motorhome, it does not quite taste the same. If you've got a Tassimo, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Got like a powdery
Milk taste. Of course
milky
there is.
taste.
Yeah.
Anyway, look at this building. The architecture is unbelievable, isn't it?
So here, there's a parallel walkway here.
Yeah.
So you can get to a lot of restaurants and bars from the front, but also here there's a walkway to the bowl.
So that's the coffee bar. Always busy.
Always a queue.
Postado. That's the ultimate leisure club. Now then, we have heard that there's the dreaded timeshare thing going off, isn't there? Where basically they ask you to go for half an hour and they take all your day up. And
Somebody
then
went that was chatting to, it was 6 hours. Has anybody ever bought a timeshare? Is it worth it? Maybe it's a brilliant thing.
I've got friends that got timeshare.
Right. Was it worth it?
I don't know, they haven't invited me.
Is this the sports bar? It's open 24 hours.
Yeah, and people use it.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Very friendly. Called the Black Sheep. So is 70s wallpaper in fashion?
So today we're really excited because we've had the opportunity to eat in some famous chefs' restaurants in the past.
That's right.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
Jamie Oliver,
Yes.
Gordon Ramsay,
Yes.
Marco Pierre White.
That's right.
Yeah, so tonight we're actually going to a Japanese restaurant with a chef that I don't think either of us have been to his restaurants. Because tonight we're going to the Japanese restaurant of Teriyaki.
Sounds brilliant.
Do you not get the joke?
Yeah, teriyaki. Just playing alone.
I was hoping to get a reaction from you.
I thought it might be funny if I thought it was really called teriyaki.
But it's quite good, isn't it, that?
What?
Here we are. What's it called, Claire? Oish. It turns out it is an oish because we're actually at the Peruvian. This is actually where we're eating tonight.
We actually love this little bar here, don't we? Absolute best bar in there, and you take so much pride in his cocktails.
You have this really cool gift shop. I'm
Really
not
love
a
it.
fan of gift shops.
But this is your favourite gift shop, isn't it?
It's just got really cool stuff in it, look.
There's a picture of you on the front.
Yeah, you're right, actually. That's a picture of me listening to you. Top tip for you, don't drink latte while you're walking upstairs.
Have you dribbled?
When we were outside, you could see the other entrance, and it was this.
That's the shuttle buses, look.
There's plenty of places to sit. I don't know about you, but I've been to places in the past where you can't actually find anywhere to sit.
Yeah, we've never had that problem here ever, have we?
No. Now, luckily for us, the leaf blower man is following us on our tour. Now, one thing with this place is it's like being in a zoo, and you've only got to peel your eyes and you'll see something that I've only seen in National Geographic. I don't mean you.
That is totally true. We've seen a lot of different animals, haven't we?
Some people daren't come to Mexico. I actually spoke to some people before we came, and they said that they would not dare come to Mexico.
What's the reasoning for that?
Thinking it's dangerous. They do drive quite fast.
They do.
Now this is one of the big pools.
Yes.
And basically you've got these, which are speakers, and the loudspeakers.
Playing one song.
And then the activity guy cranks up with this stuff, and then he plays this. And then, luckily for us, we got a group of Harley riders from Canada, Harley Davidson riders. They were free spirits, to say the least. And with a room, with a pool full of children, they gave out the most colourful language, and then decided that they had better music than everybody else.
They had a ghetto blaster, didn't they?
And brought the ghetto blaster and turned it on.
Who remembers ghetto blasters?
Yeah.
Can you still get them?
I think because they were wearing all Harley Riders of Ottawa t-shirts, nobody dared challenge them.
Not even us.
And I mean, I thought about it, but then I thought, no, I'm not sending Claire in. It's not fair. It's her holiday as well. But look at this. It's early morning, but it's 8 o'clock.
And do you notice something, Andrew?
What?
There's no towels down.
Now, when we're in the motorhome at 8 o'clock, we're with our little doggies.
We are.
And we are missing our dogs, aren't we?
We are, yes. They're absolutely fine.
One thing I like about coming to places like this is looking at the plants and seeing how many I recognise from B&Q.
I think we had that in the bathroom once, didn't we?
This is the timeshare thing.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me laugh, actually, because on the beach, there's an area where you can only sit in if you're that. You can sit in that with the rope rounds, feeling like you're higher status. That's some of the stuff that we're going to show you in the video. The lazy river, we haven't been on yet, and we're wanting to do that, but we're not very lazy. I think that's what's kept us away from it.
Should we go on the lazy river today and we can show everybody it?
Good luck. Claire, come back. You've been sucked in.
I'm fine because it's wet. So one thing with the motorhome, compared to here, you've not driven all week here. But in the motorhome, of course, it's your job to drive us around safely. So are you missing driving?
Well, I love driving, as you know, so I can't go a week without driving anything. So I booked us onto a quad bike tour, didn't I? You weren't so sure about that, were you?
No.
So for the first time, Claire rode pillion.
I did.
So what did you think to quad biking?
Andrew, I really enjoyed it.
That's not what you told me at the time, Claire.
Well, I wasn't sure, if I was honest. I thought I'd be sat next to you. I didn't realise I was going to be behind. So it was very choppy.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down. And it was the jungle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So one of the main issues for me was that I didn't appreciate you kept standing up over the bumps. But I didn't do that.
No.
So, oof, nearly ripped my ass off. I feel like I've been fighting Tyson Fury today in my arms because I was holding on like that. But the longer we went on, I realised if I just relaxed and went with the bumps.
That's the key to it, I think.
Rather than with my arms out.
Yeah. Well, that'll come in handy for something that we're going to do later on in the year on the other channel, I think.
On Bike of Atlantis.
Yeah, all the dive boats are going out. Now, we have been diving once, haven't we? But it were a once in a lifetime experience, because she said to me, never again.
I'm not doing it again now. I went like 30 feet deep on the first session.
Well,
And that isn't actually, you
I'll tell you what, if you
admired that, didn't you?
If you went 30 feet deep in the amount of time that you're in it, then you're like a torpedo, Claire. Obviously, it's hard to picture, so I'll just show you what actually happened. So we'll do a quick reenactment. So imagine you guys are me, and I'm Claire, okay? And Claire's got a mask on, and she's like this, and I'm just watching Claire, and then Claire just slowly turned round, and it looked like this. And after that, we got out. The other day, you did go snorkeling, and it took you out of your comfort zone, didn't it?
Yeah,
We went to a cenote, didn't we?
we did.
And I think you were going to bail on it. Because when we got there and we went down, he pointed out that there were bats that lived in the cenote, in the cave. And at that point, I could just feel your hand pulling the opposite direction.
Yeah, I thought they might fly into my hair and try and eat my head while I was swimming.
But they didn't. He explained that they were only...
They didn't, yeah.
Yeah, they were only in that little bit. What do you think's the cenote?
Really enjoyed it, actually. I remember
fun.
saying to you halfway around it, oh, I like it in here.
Tell you what, really interesting what he was saying about them, where they're 65 million years old.
Yes, that's right.
Aren't they?
Just after the dinosaurs.
Yeah. So when the big asteroid hit, they were formed then.
That's right.
And he said that there's some that are open to the air, and that's because they've collapsed.
Yeah.
But the one that we went in, it was still covered.
That's
But-
right. He was saying that the main columns underneath that you can see will drop in about 2,000 years. So that will go. It will be an open air one then. And they're all connected underneath. Isn't that fascinating?
And then he was telling us that he went to this particular one, and it's like a Mayan experience.
Yeah.
And you go into this area where you have to swim to get to it, and then you pop your head up and there's air there so you can breathe. But there's a shaman in there.
Yes.
And he said that he didn't believe in all this stuff. He said, but he started crying. It was like an overwhelming experience.
Awful. Yeah, that's right.
You were a really interesting guy, weren't
Yeah,
you?
and he was saying that they're all in Mexico, apart from a handful that are in Guadeloupe.
Yes. Guatemala.
Sorry, Guatemala.
I always try and pick these things up
We do.
because turtles eat them. They think they're jellyfish, don't they? One thing I was worried about coming to Mexico is this
The seaweed.
seaweed. I think it's called sargassum seaweed. It's you see pictures where in the main height of the season, it's huge. It's out of control, and it forms out in the sea, and then it comes in. So it's natural, but there's all sorts of talk about why it's happening. Some people say it's climate change. Some people think it's just the cycle. I'm doing a beach cleanup here, Claire. It doesn't normally arrive until the summer months. But last year it arrived in February, which is now. I think this is just normal.
Yeah.
Normal.
If we'd come here and didn't realise, we wouldn't even know any different, would we? We wouldn't
No.
know. It'd just be like with seaweed.
But apparently it's getting worse year on year. And that might be why, I don't know, this holiday were way cheaper than any other place that we looked at in the Caribbean. We're going to tell you how much we paid at the end, as we promised. And I think if somebody told me, having seen it now, how much we actually paid, whether it's good value or not, well, you're going to have to wait and see.
So I have some tourism facts about Mexico, and all of you guys like my facts. In 2022, there was 34.7 million visitors to Mexico. In 2023, there was 40 million. And in 2024 is expected to be a world record at 42 million.
42 million visitors.
Yeah, never been that many before. So suggesting that Mexico is still a very popular place for tourists. I bet you're wondering how many of those millions of visitors are from the UK.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
In 2022, the data goes only back that far in terms of this stat.
Yeah.
But in 2022, it was 563,000 visitors were from the UK.
Yeah, for a week then. So if you watch our channel, you'll know that we are quite a fair couple to each other. We try to be, don't we?
We do, yes.
So we have blue and pink jobs when we're in the motorhome.
Yeah.
So you have your little tasks and I have mine. So
Yeah.
my trip was quad biking
Yeah.
and you chose your trip, didn't
My
you?
trip was a catamaran boat.
We went on a cruise, didn't we?
We went on a cruise. I absolutely love catamarans.
In fact, I think a catamaran is your ultimate vehicle of travel.
I reckon I could live on a catamaran.
Really?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I wonder if this is the size of the YouTube channel that I watched.
Sailing the Vagabond.
Yeah. I mean, how much would that cost?
Riley and Elena. Which one is it? Put up the Spinnaker, boys! Woo! Woo! Okay. It's time that we had a serious chat about everything
Yeah, let's do this.
and be honest about what's happening, because I'm the type of person that when I scroll through Facebook and I look at people's holidays, I know some people get jealous of holidays or they wish that they were there, but for me I always think probably not as good as where it looks because he's probably got some mosquito bites, she's got a rash, that kid's not very happy. So yeah, I mean, when you come to anywhere,
Yeah.
there's pros and cons.
There is, that's how it works.
If you go back to the start of the holiday, we'll go through the cons.
Yes, okay.
So the first con, I think, was the airport lounge. So
Yeah.
the one lounge in Birmingham Airport, we paid extra because we wanted somewhere where we could get something to eat. We know
Yeah.
that when you're eating in a airport, then it can be quite expensive.
Sometimes you have to queue to get a seat somewhere.
A lot of people said to me before we came, because I were asking people if they stayed in the lounge or been to the lounge.
Yeah.
Some people said just eat at home, but because of the early flight, I wouldn't want a breakfast before we set off.
No.
So we thought, well, this would be a good thing to do. But the airport lounge, we were quite surprised actually, because it was very busy.
Really busy.
They were very noisy. Not much in the way of food,
It was breakfast time. It was very minimal, wasn't it?
and the food was quite cold actually.
The hash browns weren't very nice, were they? They were like 4 left and
No.
they'd been there a while maybe.
We couldn't get in until our allotted time, but luckily we got there right on our time, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we did.
If we'd have waited another 30 minutes, I think we'd have struggled to get a seat.
Well, we wouldn't have got one. That's
No.
right.
But it's not quite. We have stayed in a hotel lounge before
Hmm?
at Manchester Airport, and I expected that. Did you?
I did, but maybe this is a budget version of that.
I'm not sure, but the one that we went to before was really nice and
Yeah, it
quiet,
was.
and you had a little piano music in the background. In this one, you've got kind of like party music
Yeah.
going off. So I would not recommend that
The
one
one lounge in Birmingham.
I wouldn't do
yeah.
it. I can see that some people might like it. That's each to their own. But for us, I think it might have been just because my expectations weren't met with it.
Maybe.
So that was the first thing.
Yeah.
After the 10.5-hour flight and we turned up at Cancun Airport, it was just a free-for-all trying to get
Yeah,
luggage.
a lot of flights landed at the same time, so we're all at the same baggage pickup.
And it was a 2-hour wait for the baggage. Customs, you just got straight through, no
Mm-hmm.
problem with passport control. But 2 hours for the baggage, and like after 10.5 hours, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, we've got another hour and a bit to get to the hotel.
I was thinking, where's my bag?
I was thinking, where's my motorhome? I want to be back in my motorhome because you've got a lot more control with the motorhome, haven't you?
Of
The only
course.
thing that you get, the delays is traffic, which does
Mm-hmm.
happen, but at least you can stop and you can pull over.
You're not going to lose your stuff.
And then the last part of the ordeal,
Yeah.
was when we got to the hotel,
Yeah.
there were only 3 staff on reception and there were about 20 people to check in.
Possibly more, yes. It was a big check-in.
And luckily we were at the front of the queue and we got served in about 20 minutes, but there were people at the back and we'd checked in, we'd unpacked, and then we came out from
Came back
dinner
downstairs, yeah.
and they were still waiting to check in. So
Bit terrible, that, really.
that could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's all these little things that at the time, you know, you don't.
I think they must have known how many people were coming.
You think
So you
so?
think you'd have staffed up to cover that.
But even so, there's only 3 terminals on the desk,
Yeah.
so you can do that. You know, some hotels have a big. I don't know if you've been
Fast,
to them, you know,
yeah.
where there's a big row of people.
yeah.
So that was the journey and the cons with the journey. There's a big difference between tripping in our motorhome and coming on trips here. Unless you're going to pay through the nose for a personal trip where you've got personal transfers everywhere, then you end up being obviously in a community
A big
vehicle.
wad of people.
Yeah. And they pick up from different locations on the way. So if you are at the furthest away from where you're going, it can be a long wait, can't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So we experienced that on the catamaran cruise.
Yep.
And when we went on that, what happened was we had to pick some other people up on the way. But on the way back, we were waiting for 5 more people. We've been motorhoming now and we've not done this type of holiday for a couple of years.
That's right, yeah.
So you forget that there's more waiting about. We used to just, right, is everybody ready? Dog secured, off
Yeah,
we go,
in the
you know,
van,
and
go.
that's it. And you can decide when to go whenever you're ready.
That's
so
right, yeah.
it were a bit of a shock, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember it now. I mean, it's not such a bad thing. It's not like you're rushing around and you've got to go places. And as Claire said, it's aircon. So you're just waiting about and you think, well, you know, I could be back at the pool now when trip's over. First thing that hit you when you walked in the hotel room?
The smell. It was quite damp.
It smelled really damp. If you've not been to the tropics before, you can just think this room's a write-off. But what tends to happen is if the room's not being let out for a while, they start to smell damp.
It was a little damp, wasn't it?
It
yeah.
did smell damp. Now, if you go to some hotels, then the maids, they open the windows and air it off for you and it goes away.
That's right.
But that hadn't happened on this
Maybe
one.
nobody'd been in our room for a while.
So it is a con, that, because for us.
It's a little unpleasant.
Because you got all your clothes and everything, you don't want it smelling of damp.
That's right.
But we aired the room out, and now when you go back to the room, it doesn't
fine
smell
now.
damp
Yeah.
at all. So it's just something to be had. And if you look on the forums as well, for people that travel down this part of the world, there's a lot of talk about damp rooms,
Yeah.
and it's the same advice is given. So if you're not used to coming to these type of places, then if your room smells damp, give it a little air
Open
out.
your windows.
But don't do it at night time because you'll bring all the mozzies in.
You've got some bites, haven't you?
I've got some bites. But
Big uns.
I got bites in Cleethorpes. In fact, the bites in Cleethorpes, that's true. That were bad.
That were bad, yeah.
Were really bad. I thought I got infected.
Not again.
In
But yeah.
in Fairwater in Cleethorpes.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one. What you didn't see on our little tour around, we edited it out because we wanted you to buy into the beauty of Mexico with a view of telling you about it later. The cleaning was very good to a certain level.
Yes.
And I know I'm tall,
To a certain height.
that I can see a lot of things. There were,
I can't see.
but you did see these, didn't you? We got dust on the fan that were really
Quite
bad.
thick, wasn't it?
We got a rusty light fitting that had come down.
Yeah.
On some of the light fittings that came down, there were dust and it was just dust, weren't it?
High up, it was very dusty, yes.
So the cleaning in the main areas below eye level, spotless, but then up on high, never been touched.
No, that's fair to say, I think.
So, I think you'd have had an argument to change the room. We could have
With the
asked.
smell and the dust.
By the time we got here, we just thought, well, it's not the end of the world.
The beds were clean, so
So with that, everybody's got different standards of how they live.
we don't have any.
Well, if you've got your own motorhome or your own caravan, you know how clean you like it.
Because
and
you've cleaned it.
And you can have it as clean as that. When you go to a hotel, you're in the lap of the gods. And actually, let us know in the comments, have you ever started cleaning your hotel room when you've turned up somewhere. I'm sure people must do it, must give it a proper.
Yeah, I know
thorough-
somebody who has.
Let us know in the comments if you'd have rejected our room. Is it something that you would have rejected?
Tell us about your tatty rooms.
So then we come on to the food. When you're in your motorhome, you can eat what you like. And it's if you like fig biscuits like I do, you can get an endless supply of fig biscuits. In fact, we don't have fig biscuits.
Big
What?
sticks. I'll get you some figs if you want.
Fig biscuits, I want.
Yeah, I'll get you some.
Figs. But when you come to a hotel, you can read every review that's out there on it. But until you get there and taste it yourself, you don't know. So, the food. What's the con with the food? So you book restaurants. If you want a la carte restaurants, you have to book them.
Yep.
It's always a bit of a faff, I think,
Yep.
when you do that, because you just want to turn up on holiday. I wish that they'd turn around and just go, oh, you're in this one this night, this one that night. But unless you put the effort in, you don't get any.
That's right. But we went down to concierge, didn't we, to book ours?
Yeah. Here, it's not so bad because there's people that are sat on desks in each block and you
Yeah.
can book through them. So it's not like just one place where everybody's trying to cram in. So they're quite easy to get booked in. But the first one we went to was the Mexican. We're in Mexico. They can't get the food wrong, surely. But they did.
It was an awful experience, wasn't it? The Mexican.
It was terrible.
We were a bit upset about it, actually.
Yeah, we were.
Which is such a shame.
It was. So the problem that you've got is that the Mexican restaurant is also a buffet-style restaurant in the
At
daytime.
lunchtime, yeah.
And we think that they were serving us the stuff from the lunchtime because it was stale.
Leftover food, absolutely guarantee it.
I had to Google it, like, is this piece of Mexican food really dry? And they're like, no, it shouldn't be dry. You know, it
Yeah,
was
it's
stale.
not hard, wasn't it? It was like a big hard piece of
Cardboard.
Another con with the restaurants is that you're kind of at the mercy of the times they have available. So they only had 9:15 for all of our bookings.
Yeah, which is fine at home, but
It's okay for us, I guess, but
we're 5 hours in front. It's not bad now because we've adjusted, but
we'd prefer to eat earlier than that, really, wouldn't we?
the first night it's like eating your tea at 2:15
Yeah.
in the morning. The motorhome, you
Eat
know,
when you want, where you want.
eat when you want, when
what
you
you
want.
want.
If you want to go to a restaurant, you can get yourself in a restaurant. And if that restaurant's not available, you can just go to another one. Whereas
Yeah.
here, you're limited because there's only so many restaurants and
So many times.
it's like take it or leave it. You come to all inclusive because you pay a price and then you're done. But that's not actually true here in Mexico, is it?
No, not at all.
There's some hidden costs that we didn't even know about. Did you know that you have to pay a tourist tax?
How much was the tax?
I can't remember, it was quite a bit, and I had to pay for it before I got here. And I might have to pay for it again because I think I did it wrong. It said, when's your date of departure? So I put in when we set off from home. But I think it meant when do we leave Mexico. So we're just going to have
Departure
to,
from Mexico, yeah.
we're going to have to see how we get on there with it.
Yeah.
Like one of the other things is that I've brought a drone. I'm not going to fly the drone because I've been reading stuff online. Somebody actually got taxed for bringing a drone to Mexico,
Yeah.
and he had to pay 19% of the value
Of
of
the
the
drone.
drone to bring it in. Apparently, it's a scam.
Sounds a bit dodgy, that, doesn't
It's
it?
a scam, and there's actually signs up in the airport that says if you think that a police officer's acting dodgy,
Out of hand, yeah.
call this
Ring this number.
But anyway, the tourist tax isn't a scam. You've got to pay on exit.
Yeah, lots of countries have the tourist tax, of course. don't
Yeah,
they?
a lot of the countries do. So you've got that one, and then when you arrive at the hotel, then there's an eco tax to help with
Another
the
tax?
economy. So not the economy, but
The environment.
Environment, yeah, that's it. So it's like for eco-tourism.
Yeah.
It's to help. I don't know what it helps with actually. They just give you
Helps
these
something.
taxes. So that's 2 taxes,
Yeah.
and they are mandatory. You can't not pay it. And then there's other taxes
Is there
as well.
more?
There's more. If you do the catamaran trip like we do, there's another tax. of
Yep.
$10 each. We're not sure what that is.
I wonder if that's because you've left the land, gone to the sea,
Yeah.
coming back in, they charge you $10 each.
Yeah, but that's what happened.
Yikes.
So that's another $20. So all these taxes. There's also, I don't know if you know, but there's another tax.
Yeah.
And that is included in the price, and TUI pay that. TUI's paid that tax. It's not all inclusive, is it? And then that brings us on to here. It is a different hospitality culture,
Yep.
and it's more Americanized than what us Brits are used to,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think. So there's a tipping culture. Now in the hotel, you don't feel under pressure to tip at all.
We've never been pressured, have we?
No, we brought some $1 notes, didn't
Yep.
we, to tip, and we do tip some people. We tip the maid, which we will tip.
Yeah.
We tip the
The
barman,
omelette man.
omelette man or omelette lady. They get a tip because they make nice omelettes.
Yeah.
When we're having food, we'll give them, the servers, a bit of a tip. They're not huge tips, but it's just a token of
I think
appreciation.
it's for good service, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll give them like $2, $3. If they make us like a special cocktail,
Yeah.
we might give them a little bit more. And we find, although I used to be dead against this because I'm from Barnsley and it's not the thing that we do. You know, our biggest tip that we could ever give is don't eat yellow snow. But apart from that, I've said that about 5 times.
Yeah,
this holiday,
keep
'cause I
saying
know
it.
you like it. But apart from, I was dead against it, but what I found is that it just kind of greases the wheels.
For good service, it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah. Although there's been a couple of times where we've been stood at the bar and I'm the only one that's given the tip and I've been last to be served.
We have found that a little bit, haven't we?
We have found that a little bit. But then when you go out on the trips, then we're in the realms of American tipping.
That's right.
So the catamaran trip. We did enjoy the catamaran
It was quite
trip.
an expensive trip.
It was an expensive trip, and we were told that you got a sombrero out, and he'd already given us a questionnaire. Do you like everything that's
Yeah.
happened? They got a sombrero out, and he said, "Right, this is the magic tip hat. We do this as a living, so we need the money."
Yeah, that's what he said.
And then he said, to give you an idea of what you should be tipping, it's 10% per person of the total price of your booking.
Yeah, and it was an expensive trip.
Per person.
I know, yeah, goodness.
Right, I didn't put that in because when I added up what the take, because I do this, I added up what they actually grossed.
Yeah.
And how business works, you try and work it out.
He counted how many people were on the boat and how much.
Yeah. They do 2 trips a day. And on that particular trip, for a 4-hour trip, they're grossing about £2,500
Three.
to £2,800. So they're nearly turning over £6,000 a day, but they're saying that obviously they need tips to keep going. But there were how many staff?
Quite a lot of stuff, actually, weren't there?
4 or 5?
Yeah.
So
But
the-
of course, they don't get the £6,000 or whatever it is.
No,
do
no,
they?
no, that's right. And there's the cost of the diesel for the catamaran because although we sailed a bit,
Food.
it was still under engine, food and drinks and things like that. But it's quite a
was a hefty
high
tip that they wanted.
turnover. So
And there was a little bit of pressure I felt.
there was definitely
They
some.
were pressuring you.
They said if you don't tip, you don't get your shoes back. They were
I think
joking,
that's a joke, yeah. Yeah.
but somebody didn't tip, and the guy actually pulled him up on it and said no tip.
And he just walked off, didn't
He
he?
just walked off.
Yeah.
That weren't me, by the way.
No, we
did
tipped.
tip.
We did.
We did tip. But if you go on a trip, you tip the people that you've been out on the trip with. But then there's the guy that transports you to and from the trip.
On the minibus.
And he also wants a tip.
He wants to tip.
So although you're giving 10% of what you've paid, well then the taxi man's getting another
What,
extra
10%
bit.
each?
So there we go. That's warts and all of it coming on an all-inclusive to this place, and what we think about the difference between what the cons are here and how they're solved for the motorhome. But we're going to tell you next our final judgment. We're going to tell you how much we've paid for it. And we're going to tell you if it's worth trading 25 nights on a campsite with a motorhome to just 7 nights here in Mexico. One thing that we've really enjoyed about this holiday is that there's a lot of Canadians here and they're really, really friendly. And we've met people from Alberta, we've met people from Vancouver, from Edmonton, from British Columbia, Toronto, all over Canada. And it's been really fun. We've even met somebody who had a tamed bear called Jeffrey. Can you believe it?
That's amazing, isn't it? So your shirt looks Canadian.
My shirt looks Canadian.
Yeah.
Why?
Looks like it's come off Winnie's peg.
You booked in any restaurants? Yeah, that's better. So we know that you guys love to know how much things cost us, so it's time to reveal how much it actually costs. So per person, it costs us £1,163 for a full week, all-inclusive.
That was transfers and 20 kg luggage each.
Yep. So a direct flight from Birmingham.
TUI.
Yeah, through TUI. Now, we did get £995 discount.
Whoa,
It's
what?
massive, I know. When we came to book it, we were looking just for some winter sun. So his choices were Cape Verde, Egypt, Dubai, which I couldn't get my head around as to where we needed to be, or come to Mexico. If you look at anywhere else in the Caribbean, it is so much more expensive.
Double.
It's at
Quadruple.
least double. And I don't think the hotel would have been as good
No,
to you.
no.
So that's where it cost us. Do you think it's good value?
Yes.
I think it's amazing value, actually. I know it's a lot of money to spend, but for what you actually get,
No hesitation from me.
no.
How about you? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think the price, we haven't been on holiday like this for 2 whole years,
Yeah.
have we?
That's right, yeah.
And the price is as cheap as, if not cheaper, than
And 2 years ago. That's right, yeah.
Everything else has gone up. So I think Mexico is a really good budget.
Yeah, and this hotel's all 24-hour bar, so if you want to drink all night long for your all-inclusive, technically you could.
Or if you were a drinker, you could really clean.
Oh, you go for it,
But
yeah.
if you enjoy your food as well, I mean, like we say, we had lobster, we had all sorts of things. Didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Breakfast's massive, isn't it? Lunch, whatever.
It's like a town, this resort. It's huge. And hopefully we've shown you all the locations and you can appreciate what there is. But there's so much there. So the big question is, doing this or going in the motorhome?
I like both. That's really important to be really clear. I think I relax more here because I'm not washing the pots, cooking up, thinking about all the pink jobs. How about you?
So 2 different types of holiday. I think I like them both
I do, yeah. I
in
do.
equal amounts.
You get different things from each holiday, don't you?
Yeah, the variety is something that I like. And we're doing 2 years of motorhoming. There's so much that we've still got to do, but it's been nice just to step out of that.
Enjoyed a bit of rest, haven't we?
And have a bit of rest, yeah, just from there. Because, it's there's a bit more effort in a motorhome holiday than here. Everything's a bit lazy. But saying that, I think if we just did this, I'd want to get in my motorhome as well.
We've missed it a little bit, haven't we?
I think buying the motorhome came out of doing holidays like this.
That's right, did you? And the fact that we had Pablo at the time,
Yeah,
just the Wood Wagon. We've missed the dogs a little bit, haven't we?
yeah, we have definitely missed the dogs. That's one thing. Obviously, you can't bring your dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, you probably can. I think Johnny Depp would.
Dora would go like crazy
it.
with all the little animals here, wouldn't she?
She'd make some friends. I think Pablo would make some enemies. So it's been a really interesting comparison, I think. In some ways, you can't compare it. But it's like when we went on that catamaran, I just thought, this is very similar to when we went to Whitby. And we went
On
down.
the boat there, that's right, yeah.
You go on a boat in Whitby in summer, it's a very similar experience.
That's right. Now, I know we've compared this against 25 nights camping, which is great. However, we did have a holiday when we rented a motorhome, and that was the same price as one of us coming to Mexico, wasn't it?
So the prices that we quoted, they don't actually take into account the food that we spend on the motorhome, in the motorhome, and also the diesel. But not only that, the motorhome, paying for the motorhome. And if you don't have a motorhome, you've got to hire a motorhome. So if you go and hire one, you've got over £100 a night there.
For a week, absolutely, yes. We know this.
And then you've got to pay insurance on top of that.
Yeah,
And they've got to hold all that. So yeah, what do you want? Longevity, where you've got a longer holiday, or do you want a short blast, 7 nights, which is total relaxation?
That's right, it depends on your mood.
So let us know in the comments, would you trade just over 3 weeks worth of motorhoming for 1 week all-inclusive, tropical, pretty much guaranteed sunshine? or are you happy to do the motorhoming?
Has anybody considered this? Has anybody thought about it that way before?
Is anybody going to change and get rid of the motorhome to do more of this? Or are you going to stop doing this to do the motorhoming? I think it's a really interesting topic.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's very personal to everybody, because as much as we like to sit here, this could be somebody's worst nightmare.
Yeah, please share your thoughts. You know, have we forgotten something here?
Anyway, thank you so much for watching and coming on this little trip with us. We are coming back home now, and we are getting stuck into motorhome life again.
Yes.
All the campsites are opening back up, and we cannot wait.
We're looking forward to it. Please check out Facebook and Instagram. We have an account.
And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because it really, really helps the channel. See you later.
Hey, you couldn't see it coming. You might have thought it, but you couldn't change it. Hey, it's not right or wrong. It's about trying, find the silver lining. Rain and fire, highs and lows, you name it. Cold and warmth, laughs and cries, you have it. The world goes by, and by the time it does, you missed it. You didn't see it, flew by. 'Cause time's not waiting for me or you. You will miss it if you don't catch it in time.
Do that again, okay. We'll even show you some excursions that you can go in. What am I saying here? We'll even show you some excursions that you can go on the... We'll even show you some excursions that you can go in the... We'll even show you some excursions you can go on. He's a nuisance, him. Just leave it. Oh, do it.
Go on.
We'll even show you... Hang on. We'll even show you some excursions that you can go on. Oh, back here. I know what you're thinking.
What?
Seen that guy before. Terminator 2. And I know what you're thinking.
For this trip, we drove to Birmingham Airport, checked our bags in, got ripped off in the One Lounge, which is basically the same as the rest of the airport restaurants. No.